Hello, good afternoon, and welcome. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about modern inventions. As you can see from the title, we're going to talk about some modern inventions. So first of all, what do you think this is? You can see it on the screen. What do you think? Guess, make a guess. Probably by the name of the product, but I think it's not easy to tell what it is. What do you think it is? Is it a device? Is it something technological? What exactly this is? I will give you a couple of seconds to think about it. We're going to watch a video that talks about this modern invention. So we have one more. Make a guess. What do you think this is? And for me, it was surprising. I couldn't guess what that was. Somebody showed me that image, and I couldn't guess. So what do you think that is? What is that? What type of thing? What type of object? And what invention is that? It seems like the pistol to take your temperature, but it's not. It's something different. Well, let's watch some videos to see what they are. Right now, I'm going to show you the second invention to see if you guessed what it was. Okay, now back to the presentation. So one of the invention was something for entertainment. Would you like to have one of these? It's a tattoo printer. You can get your own tattoos, and it's not a real tattoo, but it looks like one. And the other has more implications. This is revolutionary in the medicine industry. It helps patients. Imagine if they bring that to Mexico. Wonderful. It would be really wonderful for so many patients suffering. So let's talk about inventions. So modern inventions versus modern inventors, okay? So inventors are relevant in history, but not as much as their inventions and the impact they cause. It's more relevant to see the inventions than the inventors. Not everybody remembers the names of the inventors, but they do remember the color television. Okay, so let's see. Color TV was invented by a Mexican person. Very nice contribution to the world. So color TV was invented by Mexican person, González Camarena. Now the computers. Do you know the history of computers? Modern computers weren't invented until the 1960s. Were not invented until the 1960s. We had some background of computers, but it wasn't until the 1960s with Macintosh. Good. Let's continue talking about inventions. What about this? Pretty nice, right? It's airplanes. Airplanes were invented until 1903 by the Wright brothers. They invented what we know as aviation or airplanes. Now, next, we have a challenge. Can you guess what is the topic, or what is the title of the class? We have some options. What is the topic? Are we talking about the past? Are we talking about reported speech or passive voice? I will give you some seconds to think about it. Probably you recognized something and you know. What do we talk about when we talk about inventions? Okay? You guessed right, passive voice. Okay, good. Now the introduction to passive voice. We have this. Passive voice is one of the most feared, but also most challenging and rewarding topics, or fascinating topics in English. It's personally my favorite topic in English, passive voice. But a lot of the students fear passive voice. They don't know how to make passive voice, or believe it's very hard. It is not if you use logic and observation. It all depends on observation. So passive voice requires logic and understanding of the context. If you understand, you use a little bit of logic, and you understand the context, you're good. You're good to go. It doesn't require translation, because we sometimes translate too much from Spanish to English. But this is a different system. English is a different system. And this is very important. As you can see here, it's not an inversion of the sentence. You don't have to change from what is in the middle to the last and what is last at the beginning. It's more than that. It is a lot more than that. Because some students will just modify it. If I show you here, I think I can write. Can I? Yes. They do this, and this is passive voice. It's not. There is another process that we have to do. Okay? For example, the man was arrested. Okay? We have the example right there. And remember to have fun. Don't be frustrated with passive voice. Remember to have fun. This is fun. I'm going to erase this. Okay, perfect. Important aspects about passive voice. What is important to know when you study passive voice? The emphasis is on the object of the sentence. That is the emphasis. Remember the object. What is the object, class? What do you know when I say object? It's not an object, a thing, like this object that I have here. It's the receiver of the sentence. The agent of the action can be omitted. Why can be omitted? We're going to see why. The verb be. Remember the verb to be that you learned at the beginning of your English learning? We always have, this is the most important verb in English, the verb to be. And the verb in past participle. Okay? For example, if we say the man was arrested, we obviously know it's by the police. We don't need to say that he was arrested by the police. Okay? Remember the verb be, and remember these little verbs. Past participle verbs. They are important in passive voice. You can see it as V3. When you have a column of verbs, it's the third column, or a chart of verbs. Okay, continue. Here, the verb to be can be in present or past, or other tenses. But today, only present and past. Right, let's continue. Another challenge. I like to give a lot of challenges for you. What do we use passive voice for? Let me know. What do we use passive voice? When we're interested in the doer of the action, when we're interested in the action, or when we don't know the action. Okay? If we talk about inventions, or the news, or wars, okay? Just take some seconds to think about this. A, B, or C. Okay? Guess it right, it's B. The action. The action is important. Okay? Emphasis on the action. Okay? Now, this is another challenge that I have. Just try to guess. Tell me, is it active or passive voice? What do you think? That experiment is hard. Is it active voice or passive voice? And how do you know when it's active voice or passive voice? Let me erase this. I am playing the guitar. The emphasis is on the person. So it's not passive voice. Okay? And here, the experiment is hard. This is the verb to be, right? But this is an adjective. So it's not passive voice. What about this? Okay. We have a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo right here. Okay. The experiment is conducted in the lab. The experiment is conducted. We have the two important elements of passive voice. Be and verb in past participle. We have a check and a check. It's passive voice. Okay? And the same here. Be in past participle verb. Okay? Check over here, check over here. Okay? Good. Let's continue. This is the rule. You have to remember the rule of passive voice. Let me just erase. As in every sentence in English, you have a subject, the verb, and the complement. But the subject is going to be the receiver of the action or the object of active voice. Now it's the subject in passive voice. Very important. Now be, okay? Always the verb to be. Verb in past participle. And the rest of the sentence, the complement of the sentence. Okay? Important to remember, be plus verb in past participle. Okay? Be, how do you write be? In present or in past? Okay? It depends on your sentence. For example, what are the contexts of passive voice? When we talk about the news, we can say this. This happened very recently. A message was given by AMLO at ONU. You can see this was last week. Okay? Next. For example, here, try to complete the sentence. Classes in Hidalgo take place at schools. This is the verb. Okay? So we have two lines. Remember the rule? Okay? Here, this is plural because we have classes, not singular. This is they. Sorry, here, they. They are, classes in Hidalgo are taken. place at schools. Okay, good. So far so good. Let's continue. Now here, how do we do the passive voice? This is the step-by-step in the passive voice. Scientists are producing new vaccines for COVID. Okay? This is what is happening right now. How do you change this to passive voice? Okay, let's see. New vaccines for COVID. New vaccines for COVID. This is the object of the sentence. Now it's going to be the subject of the sentence. Okay? What is this? The P or an S. Singular or plural subject or noun. This is plural. But remember this, because it's going to help us. Because it's vaccines. Right? New vaccines. Okay? Producing, as you know, is present continuous. Now, being. The ing, I take it out of here, and I put it here. Very smart, right? Very cool. With V. So, new vaccines for COVID, being. But in order to have ing, I need an auxiliary. Okay? Are. New vaccines for COVID are being, and now the verb. Remember this? We took out the ing. Now we have produce. What is a past participle of produce? Produced. Okay? New vaccines for COVID are being produced by scientists. You have to say this if you want to or not. Okay? Depending on the sentence. One more. I have one more to show you, and this is a matter of practice. Keep practicing and you will be experts in passive voice. One more. And let me just erase. Do you see the colors? The colors help. Okay? They show you how to work with this sentence. Can you read the sentence? Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin by accident. Okay? Now, penicillin is the object. Okay? Not by accident. This is the core. This, only this, not by accident. By accident is the rest of the sentence. So penicillin, okay? Singular or plural? Singular. Okay? Discovered. What is discovered? It's a verb in past, right? So, this is a verb in past and we need be in past. The verb to be in past. Okay? Penicillin was discovered. Okay? This is the same. This is a verb in past and this is a verb in past participle. But it happens to be the same. Okay? Penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming by accident. Okay? The end. Okay, so what do you think? You don't have to fear passive voice. Passive voice is not difficult. It has a lot of logic. It is very logical. Well, thank you so much for your attention. This is the end of the class, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned and have fun. Thank you so much.